Hello and welcome to more of your Meet the Coach interviews for Season 6 of the GBA. I am KantoCastBlue, and today we're going to mix it up and take a little trip to Atlanta Hawlucha Town. You may recall that that is home to all-stars such as The Cleaner and Nuh, and of course, the coach himself of the Atlanta Hawluchas, YoFizz. Fizz, thanks so much for coming on and talking today.
Yeah, it's your pleasure. And we're going to have to really rename this from coach interview to champion interview, because that's what I'm going to be. I'm going to be champion.
I love this interview already. You know what?
That's right, you do.
We'll do that. We will do that for you.
Thank you.
So in this first kind of phase, it's more of a get to know the coach. So my first question for you is, what was your first Pokemon experience?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you what this was. I was duped. Blue, I was duped.
How were you duped?
You see, little young Fizz, he gets Pokemon Blue. You know, he's 5, he's 6, whatever. And, you know, he's having fun. The time of his life with Pokemon Blue. But he knows that there's another game called Pokemon Red. And young Fizz asks Grandma Fizz, will you get me Pokemon Red on this trip to Kmart? She said, yeah, you're my grandchild, I'm gonna spoil you, here you go. Gets Pokemon Red, put it in. Exact same game! The same game! I was duped. I didn't tell you that.
Did you at least enjoy the fact that you could get different Pokemon?
No!
So that just didn't make up for anything. That's fair. That's fair enough.
No!
Well,
I felt duped.
I personally, on behalf of the Pokemon Company, apologize to you because that...
I like it written and notarized.
I will talk to some people and see what we can do. So, you've been playing since Gen 1, upsettingly so.
Yeah.
Because...
I took a break after Gen 1. I was
so
was
the
upset.
hurt too much?
Honestly, no. I think what happened was... honestly, what happened is Gen 2 came out, and I had just got into, like, junior high, I think. So, that's when you have to, like, start trying to be cool, for cool's sake. So, I stopped. I didn't play Pokemon anymore. All my friends stopped, so I was like, well, I'm not gonna do something by myself. That sounds awful.
I'm sure a lot of people can identify with that.
I stopped for a long time. Yeah. And it's not like I didn't have fun doing other things, but, you know. I stopped until Emerald came out, and I was working at GameStop, and I bought Emerald. And then I got stuck, and I was fuck this game. and then I didn't play again until Diamond and Pearl. And Diamond and Pearl is really what hooked me.
You know what? I agree. I also took a minor hiatus during Gen 3 and picked it back up in Sinnoh, I think, is Gen 4. So then how long have you been playing competitively?
It's been a long time. I want to say since 06. If I had to guess. I did spend a lot of time kind of like finding that niche community. Like at first I found out, like there's websites you can trade on. There's like websites for battling. Well, that's weird. And then I learned about all of the other stuff, and it kind of took off from there. I'm actually gonna try and find an exact date.
I'm curious
that's what
to
I
know
bring
the
to the
exact
table.
date, actually. No one's given me an exact date.
Oh man, why doesn't this have a date created thing on here? Dude, this site's garbage. All right, I don't know. Move on.
Fair enough. So, do you play any other like any tiers or any other formats?
To be honest, here's what I do: is I don't play this game at all anymore. Oh, hey, I found a join date for Pojo. 2008, but it was probably a solid year before that. So I'm gonna go 2007 in the summertime, June or July. But I don't really play that often anymore. It doesn't. The only thing that really catches my fancy is the GBA and winning in the GBA, and that's what I plan on doing. So I don't play much outside. I just play the league format pretty much always. Every once in a while, I'll get down on a showdown, and I'll make a standard team, and I'll ladder for a bit, and I go, hell yeah, I'm the champion of the world, and then I stop.
So do you think with the new game getting released and potentially some new mechanics popping up, is that going to pique your interest and get you more into it, or are you just here to dominate the GBA?
I'm here to entertain people, but I'm also here to crush the souls of my opponent, and you can't really do that outside of the GBA. Like, sure, you can get someone on Showdown to call you various names, but you don't see them ever again. I get to face John, I get to face Dan, and I get to crush them, and then I see them again later in the season, and I get to do it again. And I get to look in their face and see the defeat in their eyes. It's great.
So you would say
Love
that
it.
destroying your rivals is what motivates you the most?
Dan! I'm coming for you.
Woo!
Yes. I'm going to see Dan in the playoffs. I'm going to crush him. I'm going to make him retire from the internet. That's how badly I'm going to beat him.
I had a feeling that you might say something like that. I didn't know to the extent that it would carry, though. So that's pretty terrifying.
Yeah. I want him to retire from the internet, and I want him so distraught and humiliated that his fiance leaves him forever.
So you're going to dismantle the A-Drive army, is what you're saying.
Yes, I'll take them all on. One versus all. It's me. I'm flexing right now. You can't see it. These guns are not guns. They're like weapons of mass destruction. I got nukes strapped to my arms. And I'm immune to nukes.
So you prefer
Next question.
prefer the GBA. What is your game plan when you're getting ready to draft? Without giving away too much, do you look at utility? Do you draft for power? Do you try and set up a defensive core? I have a feeling as to what you're going to say, but what's your go-to plan?
My strategy is winning.
That's kind of what I thought.
To be honest, if I may for a second, I'm in the mid area of the draft, so it's really hard to kind of game plan for that area. If you're on one side or the other, you kind of know where you're going to be and what's going to be around. But in the middle, you don't really know what's going to be there so from round to round, because a lot of stuff goes down. And it seems like things are kind of too close to prepare for the long stuff. You're like, oh, yeah, like on my picks, not for like 30 picks, I can look at deeper in the draft and see these things, which is kind of how I was last season. And you're not ahead so far where you're like, all right, the very next thing, I know exactly what I'm getting. You kind of have to go grab a couple things and make sure they're interchangeable as much as they can be. So my first pick is probably going to be something with a lot of power. I like offensive stuff. I always have. I always will. And in pretty much any game I ever play, I like the aggro style.
That was definitely present last season. And even when you picked up a lot of things that had 4 times weaknesses, and I think you even made a comment about this at some point, you still dominated offensively, like all the time, literally.
People are afraid of 4-time weaknesses, and I don't think the secret's out, but I think you can use those weaknesses to your advantage. And I don't think anyone's going to be like, I'm going to draft like 5 things with 4 times weaknesses again. But if you do it correctly, it can work in your favor.
So you like to set up powerhouses. If there was such a Pokemon in the draft format, which one would you draft over and over again because you either can't live without it or because it is literally just that good?
Well, let me tell you something, Blue.
I'm ready.
Here's a story of a man named Danny who picked Victini. Not only did he pick Victini and rob me of it last year, I believe he's going to franchise it this year. Is this a coincidence? I think he's personally attacking
throwing
me.
shade your way?
I love Victini. He's trying to block out the entire sun. I love clicking offensive win buttons, and VCreate is an offensive win button. It's the biggest win button you can click, and I want to click it, and you won't let me.
Well, maybe next season?
So we have a problem.
So, I mean, Victini is...
Yeah, I might just throw this season, actually. I might lose on purpose this season just so I can draft Victini.
That's what they...
Dan's a real butthole.
I think that's what they call playing for the long game. Throwing the season away and then starting the next one.
Well, they don't let me do that anymore. If you remember the transition from season 2 to 3.
Ah, fair enough.
Where I had 3 first-round picks, they don't like that.
Well, Okay, so I mean, Victini is definitely a solid option. Unfortunately, you may not be able to have that this season, but moving closer to you and the GBA, because that is your baby, as you have explained. What made you want to join the GBA?
Well, Steve finally had an idea, and he finally followed through with it, and it worked for at least one time. I was like, all right. Steve usually has good ideas. The problem is that they never get off the ground. This one got off the ground. And I'm looking at the GBA, and I see Nick, I see Steve. These people I've known for a really long time. It's like, you know what? That seems like fun. I don't really care for Pokemon anymore, but like, you know, my friends are there. They're having fun. It seems different, and that might just be just enough for me to be interested. I like drafting stuff. I like team building. Team building is my favorite part of Pokemon. So this seemed the most interesting. And yeah, so I joined mostly because of friendship. And I reached out to Steve like, hey, I know you're looking to expand. Count me in. He said, okay. All right, you're in. And then I said, okay, I'm going to dominate everybody in the entire world. That's why they shut down Season 3. They were scared of me dominating too badly.
Well, thank goodness they got over their fears. And now we're back for Season 6. Do you have a coach you're looking forward to playing most this season?
Dan? Oh, man, Dan. I have not seen the schedule yet, but I want to play Dan over and over. If I could play him 12 times in one season, that's what I would do.
So you would say you have a rivalry with Dan?
I would say it's more than that. It's not a battle, it's not a rivalry, it's a war. He's declared war on me, I'm the victim. I'm the victim, and he thinks that he can just come in and be like, oh, I'm Dan, and everything's great, and look at all my fans. That's, no, he's besmirched me, and he must pay.
Well, is there a coach that you're not looking forward to playing? Somebody you absolutely do not want to get matched up against?
Yeah, no, not really. Last season there was, but that was a subject of the team, and I didn't want to play Nick, and thankfully I never had to. But that's really what it is. It's once the teams are picked and drafted, then I'll go, I don't want to play that. Because Nick's team last year, let's face it, it was disgusting. He should have been banned from ever playing a game. They should have made him redraft by himself. The thing was gross.
Well, I think I know the answer to this next question. What are you most excited for during Season 6?
The tears of my opponents.
That is not what I was expecting.
Next question.
I think I actually know the answer to this one too, but realistically, where do you see yourself ending up at the end of the season?
There's going to be a pile of coaches having fainted, because that's what you do in Pokemon. And atop these coaches fainted on the ground, moaning, and probably weeping, will be me! I will be on top. I'll be holding the GBA cup high above my head. And Ho-Oh will look down upon me and shine. And then Mewtwo will look and be like, man, that's one bad mother. Shut you.
That's not... Well, that is the answer I was expecting, but I couldn't quite possibly envision it with the colorful language.
I will be the king of the Poke Throne across all of
They're
Pokeros.
They're going to build a Poke Throne just for you. I can feel it. It's coming.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And it'll say, the Fizz is coming. They will fear me.
So, as entertaining as this interview has been, and it might actually be my favorite of all time, we're going to keep continuity alive and round it out the same way we've been doing everyone. And that is Phase 3, aka the Lightning Round, full of a series of A or B options that require zero thinking and just answering. Are you ready?
Sure.
Alright, Cartridge or Showdown?
Shoddy.
Oris or XY?
Heart Gold.
Sweep or Stall?
Winning.
Hoenn or Sinnoh?
Kanto.
Live commentary or post-com?
Wrestling promos.
Toxic or Will-O-Wisp?
Yellow Magic.
Volt Switch or U-Turn?
V-Create.
I can't argue with you there. Competitive or Defiant?
No guard.
Acrobike or mock bike?
Acrobike.
Play competitive or play for fun?
Play for destruction.
Technical team or creativity?
Destruction.
Trade or free agency?
Why not both?
And finally, GG or rage quit?
Always winning.
Oh man, there you have it, guys. The man, the legend, Fizz. Everything you want to know about him will be in the description below. Go check out Fizz's links and get ready to cheer on your Atlanta Hawluchas for Season 6 of the GBA. It's a good team to root for. Trust me. If this interview...
Be there or be square.
If this hasn't convinced you...
Don't be a square.
I don't know what will. Fizz, thanks again for your time. It has been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah, whatever.